and hand massage today. And we'll start with just some props that you might need. And here I'm using 2 towels. I just roll them into rolls so that the hand can rest on it easily like this. You can always create a comfortable, soothing atmosphere by adding some decorations such as candles, maybe oils, some cookies, just to create a more welcoming atmosphere. And let's start with our massage. To start off, we're going to introduce my hands by just gently placing them on her forearm and her hand. Just to create a contact, make her feel more comfortable and welcome. We can do little compressions along her arm. I have already asked my guest what she does for a living, and she does office work. So we're going to concentrate on the muscles that create flexion and extension of the hand. So she does a lot of typing, which will require this type of movement a lot. And we have these wonderful muscles on top of our forearm that do this function. Okay, let's apply some lotion. It's going to be a little slippery at first, but then we're going to work it in. As you can see, I'm reaching further than elbow, and it's simply because a lot of movement in our hand, such as supination or this twisting movement, is mostly created by your muscles on the upper forearm, and it's actually partially done by your bicep brachialis that attaches right here. Okay, we're going to begin with a little lymph drainage. And what I like to do is I like to just travel with my fingers in this movement all along the forearm, and then just do light squeezing. It is all done very superficially. So just like that. And just push it up. And then we're going to go between the fingers. Again, very light movement. Just like that. Okay, and we're going to start working at the top, just breaking apart the fibers of the muscle here at the elbow, and we will be working superficial to deep, meaning we're going to create the depth as we go. First, we need to warm up the muscles a little bit, work on our carpals. These are these wonderful bones that create all kinds of movement in our joints. Also, we have this sheath of ligaments that wraps around our wrist, keeps it all together. So we're just increasing the blood flow towards that area. Good. All right. And now we can start applying just a little bit more pressure. And again, I'm just breaking apart the fibers a little bit. We can do squeezing motions. This way you can actually start feeling for things. If there are any tender spots that need to be worked, we can go along this little groove in the middle. Many times you can get some tension in there as well. You want to create movement where usually it does not exist, and there's not much movement in between these bones. There's not much stretching you can do or any kind of toning, so sometimes just massaging them could help you. Also, I wanted to tell you a little bit about carpal tunnel syndrome, which is actually usually felt in this area. What it does, it's basically a pinched nerve that's pinched by muscles or tendons of the muscle in this area, in this tunnel, as you can see. So a lot of times, actually, muscles in your forearm can cause a similar or false carpal tunnel syndrome as well. It can create just as much pain. So working your forearm muscles can really help. Also, for me personally, I have found therapy that's called trigger point therapy. And that's basically when you just look for active, painful points in your body. And then once you found one, you need to deactivate it by holding it for about a minute. And you can do it to yourself, or you can go to special therapists for that. Does it feel okay? Okay. And many times, let me show you a book. Pain can actually go away. So if you take a look at this page, for example, we have these two trigger points, which are in the top, at the top of our forearm, in these muscles right here. And if they are activated, they can actually radiate the pain into your wrist. So once you deactivate it, there is a possibility that it will stop. It could have been caused by that. So it's always worth trying a lot of different things before you do surgery or something. So in here, same thing. You see these 5 points on the hand can cause pain right in your wrist. So many times when you find them in your arm, for example, and actually I just found one, I think you would warm up that area just by working maybe circles, or depending on the muscle, maybe stretch it. And then you need to go deep into it for about a minute and just hold it with the same constant pressure. It could be painful, but then when you feel it radiate into certain parts, that means that it's a true trigger point and not just a tender point. Okay? If you're interested, you're welcome to research a lot about this online, or maybe I can do a video about that. Alright, and again, we just want to lengthen these muscles. So So many times I could just pin it at the tendon part right here and then create a stretch this way. Or I can ask my client or my guest to try and bend her wrist like this. And then I can just do the same thing and just follow the length of the muscle. Very good. We'll want to work in between the metacarpals right here. Same thing, they don't get enough of stretch or enough of muscle tone, but imagine how much movement they create all the time. Alright, and let's turn it around. Is it comfortable like that? Okay. And here we have our wonderful flexor muscles. All the muscles that do this movement. Fingers flexion and wrist flexion. So they all have tendons that go all the way down into the fingers and then up to the elbow. Most of them attach on this side right here on the medial epicondyle, or just this bone, bony mark. And the same way, it just feels good to just squeeze them, work them. Since I didn't do lymph drainage on this side, I can just do squeezing motions. Is the pressure okay? Okay. A lot of times you can feel a little bit of crunchies in people's forearms. And that's just a little bit of toxic buildup. There are certain spots in your body that you can expect them to be, like your lower back. And the best thing to do is to get a massage. And again, don't be scared to apply a little bit of pressure, especially in between the two bones. It's very interesting how when you press these muscles up, you create actual flexion of the fingers. Like this. So it's involuntary flexion. That simply proves that all of these muscles go up here. And we're going to go just a little bit with more pressure inside, along the sides of the bones. We don't need to put too much pressure around the bones, but just enough. If you're using a table or something, you can always do pressure with your forearm or your arm. And I'll just work the attachment side here. Now let's work on the hand. Just a little bit more. And our hand does absolutely everything in our daily life, if you think about it. It works very, very hard all the time, helps you with absolutely everything. So massaging can really help release some stress that you might have not even known that you have. Everybody likes their hands rubbed and massaged. Okay, and here we have thenar muscles, the muscles that attach your thumb and create movement in your thumb, opposing, rotation. And I'll just do a little squeezing. Pull and squeeze. Very gently though. You can put finger between your two fingers and do kind of squeezing, rotating thing. And this is our hypothenar muscles. These muscles work with your pinky. So just working them could be very pleasant. Also, a lot of people have trigger points, back to trigger point, in this web between the pointing finger and the thumb. And if you really look for them, you will probably find one. It could start being painful, but we're not going to do that now. And just to open up, the palm. Just to help stretch it. Work between the fingers and the webs. At the same time, I'm working the back between the bones as well. And we're going to do a little squeezing of the fingers as well. And I just put them again between two of my fingers and just create a little twisty pull. Just rotation and pulling. Sometimes they can crack, and that's just the air being released between your joints. We can do range of motion, just supporting our joint and just creating full motion, both sides. And just tug on the fingers. And then we're going to play nice and tickle just a little bit. Everybody loves tickling here. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this.